coaches take over a role, immediate success, they say, give us some time. For you, what was the formula for you guys to come in and do so much in so little time?
It was just the mentality, our mindset, just really not getting too caught up in the past. Watching some of their games last year, it was very competitive. There was some talent already on this team. So, I just figured, coming in, just implementing my intangibles, my principles, my standards, and just holding these young men to a higher standard and getting more out of them. And just being able to relate to them as well, too. I think that helps. Being a coach that played at a high level, did everything that these young men want to do. So it just kind of makes it a little more easier.
You had that Power 5 experience, NFL experience. What are some lessons from some of those coaches that you've interacted with that you're taking and pulling from?
I think the biggest thing is just really allowing, the players to be themselves. Being unique, authentic to who they are, not trying to change them. I ain't got to be a police officer, I ain't got to be a daddy, but at the end of the day, I'm your coach, and just respect me to that authority. But you're a collegiate athlete, right? That's supposed to be some of the most funnest time of your life, right? So, if I'm some coach that's not allowing you to be yourself and having fun, I want to change you and have you be something that I want you to be, is not really beneficial for the bottom line. So I just think, just finding that happy medium.
In your coaching staff, you got a lot of NFL experience, a lot of coaching experience. For one, how valuable was it to surround yourself with guys that all the experience that they bring in?
I feel like it was beneficial to the success. With me not really having a ton of experience coaching, I feel like, I had to, get some guys that had experience that either, played collegiate ball, played in the NFL, or vice versa. When I had the opportunity to put this staff together, that was a big emphasis. Just make sure you got people that's been there, that's been in the fire, that knows the ins and outs of this coaching game, because I feel like, it's all subject to, relationships and who you know and who can help you with certain information. So in this instance, I said, let me establish and put together a staff where people, been in that fire before.
Almost completed with year one of the D-Jack era for you. I know you came in with a vision. How close are you to accomplishing that vision for this program?
Very close, to be 7-3. Obviously, after only winning 2 games in the past 2 years, it's a blessing for me. I don't want to get too caught up in the moment and really thinking about all the success we've had, because I know it's still a lot more to do. And it's a lot more work to accomplish as well too. So I'm even keel on that, I'm just in the middle, just because I just know the task is not done yet.
I know the players are feeling that the wins are starting to mount. How do you keep them even keeled and remind them that we still got 2 more weeks, we are not there yet?
You just can't really allow the pats on the backs and all the all the praises get to you. We have to kind of block the noise out. We got to quiet the noise as well too, because if we get too caught up in it, it'll take us off our pivot. Every day we got opportunity to work and own the day and conquer the day. If you look about it, we got 2 guaranteed games left, this week and next week. So it's only a few practices left. And, if we handle our business, hopefully we can have more than those few.
Has there been a moment so far where you're you look up and you realize this is why I'm here?
Seeing these young men's, faces after wins, they didn't really have success in the past few years. As tough as it is, because the expectations are very high. You see the feeling that they get after all the work they put in, and just the standard of how high it is. Everybody's like, man, it's paying off for us. So I think that's the biggest thing, where it's fulfilled, where you see your players straining and stressing their bodies and doing things that they're not familiar and comfortable with, and then you see them have the success. It's just it's a fulfillment moment.
Have you started to think about legacy? I know it's still early in your career, but how do you want to build this program, and what do you want to leave behind?
Looking back, I think everybody will be able to say, what Coach Jack did at Delaware State obviously goes down in the books. It's only been a few teams that really have the type of record I'm trying to go for. So as long as we can accomplish that, we can win a championship. I think that sets up a huge accomplishment for an ex-player that played at a high level in his first year coaching, that didn't have no experience, and it's just, I don't think it's been done before. So, we just got to talk about that. But like I said, we got to still accomplish what we need to accomplish.